Round 13 of the NRL. Brett Kimmorley to have a look at what lies ahead on a very interesting weekend of footy. And we kick it off Friday night with the match of the round, Manly taking on the Doggies.
Yeah, some form sides are starting to come back into the equation. Some upsets at the start of the year, but top sides are returning. Canterbury are the best side in the competition with the two halves now gaining confidence out of Origin 1 victory.
Big call.
It'll be a physical game. Fortress Brookvale will be there, but I think Canterbury will get the points.
Okay, that'll be an interesting one with Desi headed back home for a welcoming, I'm sure, that the fans will give him. The Eels take on the Cowboys in the other game in Sydney on Friday night.
Well, there should be two blockbusters crowds in Sydney, which is great. Eels, a few injuries. Nathan Peach is a massive injury for them. I think the Cowboys, they've found some form, but they can't win away from Townsville. So this will be a great clash, and I think the Cowboys need to start winning, and they will win in Sydney this week.
I wonder if the Hayne plane is going to be flying this weekend. On Saturday, it's the out-of-form Titans taking on the in-form Panthers at home.
Yeah, very good Penrith last week. Really good in the attack, and I think normally they're a physical side defensively. Their attack is starting to work. I think they were brilliant. Titans
it's confidence, isn't it?
It is confidence. Tyrone Peachy was outstanding, some footballers. So I would think Penrith will get the points against the struggling Titans.
Okay, and the other big game, of course, is the local derby at Wynn Stadium. The Dragons taking on the Sharkies, who just can't win a chook raffle at the moment.
Well, both can't win a chook raffle, but unfortunately, someone's going to get a victory. They're both out of form. They're both extremely poor sides who are struggling with injuries, and obviously coaches and everything else that you want to throw in the equation. So I would think the Dragons will win only because it's at home.
And that second week scenario with the new coach. They don't win the first week anymore, they win the second week.
Let's see if Paul McGregor gets his first win as a coach.
Let's see if Benji Marshall can get his first win as a player as well. Rabbitohs take on the Warriors, that traditional game over in Perth, and a big crowd expected.
Oh, massive crowd, and it's a huge road trip for the Warriors. It's got to be the biggest trip you can imagine, going from Auckland to Sydney, Sydney to Perth.
Business class for the big boys.
Souths have been good, but relying on physicality, and I think the Warriors will handle that physicality. I'm going to say the Warriors will beat South Sydney.
Okay, the Knights are taking on the West Tigers at Hunter Stadium, and couldn't be a more true a statement than say both of them need a win, particularly Newcastle.
Well, I think they do need a win, but I don't think they'll get one. Yeah. I think the West Tigers are going very good this year.
They're in the top five.
Big, powerful side, playing simple football, and I think they'll be good enough to beat Newcastle.
Okay, and then the Storm, who are without a couple of their big players, up against the Roosters at Amy Park. This will be a monumental game in the season of the Storm.
I still think the Storm are going to struggle throughout the whole Origin period. I think they rely too heavy on the big three with salary cap. It's got to affect them when they're out.
They didn't score a point last week. That was scary.
And the Roosters, for 40 minutes, got back to the premiership side. Yeah. They were very good last week. Roosters to win. Okay,
and then the Raiders take on the Broncos. Season is done and dusted for the Raiders, and Ricky's now looking for some real good excuses.
Oh, I think they're trying to recruit and rebuild and all that type of thing.
All of those
you can't say.
Rewind.
And Brisbane have been brilliant.
They've been fantastic.
Ben Hunt has been the form halfback of the competition. They're playing some good football, and I would think they'll be probably too classy.
Okay, let's have a look at Noddy's tips there on screen. The Doggies and the Cowboys on Friday night. Panthers, Dragons and Warriors on the Saturday, and then the Sunday games, Tigers and Roosters, wrapping it up with Brisbane in the game against Canberra on Monday Night Football.